bad. Yeah, that was a good attempt, but it was just, you know, sadly the second time I got it. But that's okay. This is still going to be a really fast run for me. So I like that, of course. For example, I'm not going to get the, hey, you're going slow text, which is pretty cool. So it's going to be the first run where I do the new buffer strat stuff. So that's a good run. It's weird. I usually don't get nervous in runs, but I can feel my hands. They start to get a little moisture on them, you know? And it might just be that this is such a short category that, you know, if you're about to get something first try, then it's crazy. Like, this wasn't even a perfect run by any means, right? Even getting inside the cave, I messed up. I went too far low around, you know, the pickable green objects. But hey, this is a good run because my previous fastest time was I paused every single down right input. So I would go up right a frame and then I would insta pause again so I could reset my joystick down right. But here I was doing it as if I was using, I don't want to say as if using a controller, but I was doing a very safe method where I could do down right for free. I would have way more time. Because before I was scared of going down in the select menu and then resetting everything. So I did that extra pause. I just said a lot of words that were kind of stupid. But essentially this run, you saw how I went up right, down right, up right, down right. Before I would do up right, pause again, and down right. Up right, pause again, down right. As a safety measure. But here I didn't, so that's cool. I also did the, I think it's faster ending where you go diagonally down left, which is very nice. And this run is actually submittable. I don't really care too much about that. Like the other runs were the same. But this run I did unbind the actual select button, or the default one. So I can actually submit this run, which is nice. I assume this has to be faster, but maybe I'm wrong. I think my previous run was 220 or 221, something like that. I didn't do perfect frame count on it because I was about to, you know, take a video of it and then submit it, but then I looked at the submission rules and it was like, oh, you can't bind two action, you can't have one action be on multiple buttons. It said it in a weird way and I didn't get it at first. And I was trying to make sure I was in the right, but I was in the wrong. For whatever reason, they don't want you binding a lot of things to other buttons, which I guess I understand a little bit. But this one, as you can see here, the select button is no good. And I'll show after the credits and everything that I only have one thing per button. I actually might have unbound everything except for I'm using the back bumper on the Wii U for the select, start for pause, and A for A, or like the right button. I think I unbound everything else, but maybe I didn't. Well, I guess my right back bumper is still the Wii U menu. I probably didn't, I mean, I know I didn't unbind that because it works. And you can hear in the background people are celebrating. They're like, this guy finally did it. Obviously, not a great run, not a perfect run, but I did not get hit by the, hey, you're going too slow text, and that is something to be said. Also, some of my pauses going into, you know, the first out of bounds were kind of bad. Not gonna lie, they were pretty bad. I don't even remember how many times I had to try it, but you know what? That's one of the things I like about this run is you literally can't lose the run. Even if you mess up at the very end when you're walking through the rooms, you can just find your way back and then go to the end still. I mean, technically you can jump inbounds at some points, but you can usually just get your way back in and, you know, get to that final room. Which is something to be said for speedruns. You know, there's somewhere, you know, if you die or you go in the wrong room or something, or you use too many of this item, you know, the speedrun's over. But that's the cool thing about this one. If you fail, you know, a walk to out of bounds, then you just retry it. I guess you could... Actually, there are ways to lose this run. If you do the screen scrolling and then you, like, walk into the edge, you do lose the run. Because you go in the infinite scroll. I'm not really sure what it's called. But I guess you could lose this run, technically. My bad. But hey, even if you do, the run's a minute and a half or whatever, 2 minutes for you, or 2.5 or 3 minutes, and it doesn't feel too bad to reset, because even the intro itself isn't very long, but it's a good break for your hands. I love intros. People talk about hating intros all the time. I love intros. Because, you know, maybe you want to rest your wrist, maybe you want to rest your fingers, your hand, your arms. Maybe you want to sit differently in your chair, or if you're on the ground, you want to, you know, move your legs a bit. Maybe, you know, if you're in a chair too, you want to move your legs a bit too. This intro, of course, you still have to, you know, advance text, but hey, you can mentally take a break, you know, all these things. I think what's cool about this run, and it's not going to be, you know, it's not really going to be a fact or anything like that, but I think this is a run that you could, you know, just pick up one day and say, hey, I want to do this. And even if you're failing a bunch of times, the run is so short where you're just like, that was fun to do. Because I know it's really short, but this run seems kind of fun. And yeah, it's a lot of pausing and whatnot versus actual movement and gameplay, but I find it still to be pretty hard because I am using the joystick, and the diagonals for the joystick seem to be in a small range. It almost feels like sometimes the range moves. You know, it's like you do the same thing, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure why that happens, but whatever. I don't know what to say. It feels hard with the joystick, and I don't want to use the D-pad because I'm a weird person. So that is the total games played. Let me show you real quick. Controller settings. So there you go. The A, B. Okay, so I didn't oh yeah, I did unbind everything because it shows up over here. So yeah, you can see that is the select button. Start is start. And that's the Wii U menu. I'm gonna go back here. So yeah, there's the A. Everything else is unbound. till that select button. So there's that. And if I want to reset, for the first time today, I actually opened up this file, and it looks pretty funny to me. You're not Link because you don't have the lens, and this thing deals half a heart every 2 times you hit it. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff, huh? These guys are kind of in the wall. This guy's just, they're in weird spots, weird stuff. So yeah, that's the run. I hope you enjoyed.